Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for joining us.
One, two, three.
So how are you? So I know that many different organizations are doing events.
I'm Arthur Piccolo, Chairman of the Bowling Green Association. There are many familiar faces here because, of course, many Caribbean nations have been raising your flags here for many years. But any of you who are here who have not yet raised your flag here, Caribbean nation, you're not scheduled for this year, please make sure you come back again this year to raise your nation's flag. Today, of course, is very special because for the first time ever, we are raising the Caricom flag in celebration of 50 years since the formation of this important organization. The past is about the past, but it's also about the future. What's most important is what will Caricom and what will the Caribbean accomplish over the next few years. When others are standing here 50 years from now for the 100th anniversary, what will be the situation in the Caribbean? I'm very optimistic. I think the Caribbean has absolutely not reached this potential. The Caribbean is not treated with the importance that it deserves. It is not treated with the importance that I am sure the greatest immigrant in American history, Alexander Hamilton, would have thought in 2023. So in the spirit of Hamilton, let's make sure over the next 50 years that the Caribbean rises to even greater heights. I'd like to now introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Chris Benjamin. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Chris Benjamin from the Consulate General of Jamaica here in New York. Welcome to Caricom at 50, our flag raising ceremony. All right, so we're not going to delay. We're going to go right into the program. And I invite to the lectern the Consul General from Trinidad and Tobago, Honorable J. Andre Laveau, who will bring the opening remarks.
Hello. Hello. Happy Caribbean American Heritage Month. Happy golden anniversary of Caricom. Yeah. So good to be here. I'd like first to recognize the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, Minister of Tourism, Cayman Islands, who is also chair of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. Can't proceed further without recognizing our goodly chairman of the Caricom Consular Corps, Matty Holder, who's done a... I'd like to recognize, hey, give it up, why not? Yeah. All right. I'd like to also recognize the Commissioner for International Affairs. His name is Eddie Memelstein. And the Consuls General of the Caricom Consular Corps, other Consuls General present, city officials, heads of diaspora organizations, Caribbean people, welcome. I'd just like to say how glad I am to be able to do this. I didn't expect to be kind of emotional about this, but I am actually, because to tell you the truth, anything that the Caribbean does together is a sign of victory, actually. It's a symbol of victory. Because I think, as you know, we are tiny states, some of us micro-states, tiny, we all small. We all are small. There's no big 2, big 3, big 4. We all are quite small. And when you're a small country, you face international pressures and temptations and threats and so on, that have a continual effect of dividing you. And this really is our history, as you know, okay? A history of division, of domination. But here we are today, having conquered our circumstances, to actually come together, yeah? And I think we should give the Caribbean a round of applause. I think you have, do we have a Caricom flag up somewhere? Yeah. Well, you can't quite see it yet, all right? But I think you've seen the Caricom flag. It is, and oh boy. I feel like all of a sudden I'm getting so comfortable I'm going to take too long, man. Yeah, but my wife tells me I should look at the rain, you know. Yeah, so the rain is threatening. So I'm going to be very brief. I just want to welcome you to this event. I want to thank you for recognizing the importance of it to us as a people, not just to us as a people, but to us in the Caribbean as a diaspora. We have in the Caribbean, with the Caribbean diaspora is this is the English-speaking Caribbean. Caricom is, if I'm not mistaken, the 5th largest, okay, in the city of New York. And it's a very important diaspora, and I want to. I'm always thankful to New York, the state of New York, for recognizing who we are. We know who we are as a people. We know what we're made of. We're made of very, very still stuff because of what we have passed through as a people, and because we've taken the best of all the worlds that have passed through our shores. So what you have in a Caribbean man and woman is a real hybrid, a real mix of not just ethnic, but I'm talking about wisdom and experiences and perspectives that can touch the world. And as you know, we have touched the world. Okay, so I want to thank you for being here. I want to, we thank God for His blessings upon our celebration. We know that the rain will hold while we celebrate, and we thank you for being here. And thank you very much.
Thank you, CG, for those inspiring words of the opening remarks. Caribbean people, we don't respond so, as we say in Jamaica, thank you. Come on, man. Let CG Lavo feel welcome. All right. So, next at the lectern will be the Commissioner for the Mayor's Office of International Affairs, the Honorable Edward Mermerstein, who is a very good friend of the Caribbean community. We know that because we call on Commissioner very often. Yeah. So, Commissioner Mermerstein.
I think Arthur is setting. Yes.
Thank you, Chris. Ministers, ambassadors, consul generals, and honorable guests. I'm so happy to join you today as we start the celebrations of a remarkable milestone, the 50th anniversary of the Caribbean community, known as Caricom. Caricom has been a symbol of unity and progress for the Caribbean nations since its creation. Over the past 5 decades, Caricom has played a vital role in fostering regional integration, cooperation, and economic development. But let us not forget the immense contributions of the Caribbean community right here in our beloved city. New York is home to many immigrants that have roots in the Caricom member states and associate members. From the vibrant festivities of the West Indian American Day Carnival to the delicious flavors of the Caribbean cuisine that grace our streets, the Caribbean community has left an indelible mark on the fabric of our city. Caribbean New Yorkers have also made significant contributions to various sectors, from arts and culture to business and politics. They have excelled as entrepreneurs, artists, educators, and community leaders. In short, the Caribbean people have shaped the very essence of New York City's diversity and resilience. I also want to take this moment to thank Mayor Eric Adams for his commitment to the Caribbean community and to his efforts to foster economic growth, cultural exchange, and educational opportunities for all New Yorkers, including the Caribbean community. Once again, congratulations to all of Caricom members and to all of the Caribbean community. I wish you all continued success. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mermelstein. And just to reiterate the point that Commissioner just made, here in New York, and I'm just going to say New York, we're not going anywhere else. I just want you to think which borough you may travel that you don't see the influence of the Caribbean on every corner. Just think about it. Let me see, who is here from the Bronx? Okay, I see somebody waving from the Bronx. Brooklyn. Queens. Staten Island. Alright, Manhattan. Okay, one person. So you see, we are everywhere, and this is what 50 years of Caricom, and it goes beyond Caricom, by the way. The Caribbean has been making a major influence on New York for centuries. So be proud of Caricom at 50. So I'd now like to invite to the lectern the Commissioner for Immigrant Affairs, the Honorable Manuel Castro. The Commissioner for Immigrant Affairs, the Honorable Manuel Castro. Okay. Give it up to our Caribbean community in New York! Come on, let's do it! I am incredibly proud to be here celebrating with Caribbean New Yorkers the 50th anniversary of Caricom. But again, we're no strangers to celebrating with our Caribbean community here in New York. We do this often in our communities, but as I said before, it is so important to be able to do it in this very location. I want to thank the Bowling Green Association, as always, our friend Arthur, for this partnership in being able to celebrate and uplift our immigrant communities in such an important location, not just for New York, but for the entire country. I am especially proud of our work with community leaders and community organizations represented here today in serving our Caribbean immigrant population. We could not do this without your support and effort. So thank you so much to all of you who are here. I see many of you who have taken a little bit of time off of your work to be here, but I know that day in and day out you work so hard to serve our communities. We are also today celebrating the 11th anniversary of DACA, so I want to shout out our Dreamer New Yorkers, please, including the many tens of thousands of Caribbean dreamers who live in New York City. Yes, many of them are high school students, college students, but we also have many educators, health professionals, and even administrators who are dreamers. And I want to say, as a fellow dreamer myself, that we are here to stand with you and continue to fight for a permanent solution for dreamers. So again, very proud to be here celebrating with our Caribbean community and with our immigrant community and lifting our flags together and making sure that New York City continues to be a proud city of immigrants. So give it up for Caribbean New Yorkers. Thank you. So I'd just like to recognize the presence of the Minister for Human Services and Social Security from Guyana, Ms. Vinda Prasad. Welcome. Alright, so I'd like to now invite the man who has been sharing the proceedings to get us to where we are today,
the chair of the Council of Corps of Caricom here in New York, CG Mackey Holder of Barbados. CG? Where we are today, the chair of the Council of Corps of Caricom here in New York, CG Mackey Holder of Barbados. CG?
Honorable Minister Prasad, Honorable Minister Bryan, fellow Council Generals, and I'd like my fellow Council Generals to please stand at this time. Thank you. Commissioners in the Mayor's Office, councils and staff of consulates, Caribbean Goodwill Ambassador Lucia Henderson, Caribbean people. That a little soft though. Caribbean people. That now is my people. At the outset, I thank the collaboration that has led to this moment, particularly the Caricom subcommittee chaired by Bernard Ambrose Black of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It is fitting that against the background of June being designated as Caribbean American Heritage Month, we gather here to raise the Caricom flag, the symbol of unity and greatness of collectively the smallest region in the world. We do so in recognition of the significant milestone of half a century of progress by our home countries. We do so in recognition of the vision of the Founding Fathers and the debt we owe them, the four Founding Fathers. We do so in recognition of the dedication of leaders, secretaries generals, and staff of the many organs of the CARICOM community, which has seen membership move from Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Barbados to include 20 countries, 15 full members, and 5 associates. And we do so in recognition of the history and impact of the Caribbean on these United States, the long-standing partnerships between the U.S. and the region, and the indelible ongoing contributions of our people. On its own, as the oldest surviving integration movement in the developing world, and through its work individually with member states, CARICOM has helped propel our people to new levels of achievement in America and throughout the world. It is an indisputable fact that no area of such a small size as the Caribbean has contributed as much and continues to do so to New York and the United States. The example of excellence abounds, from the Founding Father, Alexander Hamilton of St. Kitts and Nevis, to National Hero of Jamaica, Marcus Messiah Garvey, to Shirley Chisholm, to National Hero of Barbados, Robin Rihanna Franklin, and hundreds and thousands in between, in medicine, education, sports, cuisine, culture, in fact, in every aspect of American life. It is not by accident that New York is considered the Caribbean capital of the world. Our people represent 20% of the 3.3 million immigrants in New York City, with Jamaica, Guyana, Haiti, and Trinidad and Tobago being the largest groups. If you go to Brooklyn, especially Crown Heights and Flatbush, you know you're in the Caribbean. So in every respect, we are an important group. And in the spirit of Caribbean American Heritage Month, we should demand and get the same respect as other groupings. I commend Mayor Adams for recognizing this, for the diversity of his team, which includes Barbadian Honorable Sylvia Hines Radix as Corporation Counsel, and Trinidad Barbadian Ingrid Lewis Martin as Chief Advisor, for launching the Caribbean Advisory Council Initiative, which is headed by, incidentally, Barbadian Lamona, and for generally seeking from his time as Brooklyn Borough President to embrace Caribbean people. But I look forward to the day when the marking of Caribbean American Heritage Month is etched in the mainstream and all media, and Caribbean people are parading through Manhattan like so many other nationalities, proudly showing our culture. It would have been great if today we could also be celebrating the passage of the New York for All Act, which is aimed at restricting collaboration to aid deporting immigrants, a problem facing the Caribbean. This law has 62 co-sponsors in New York State Assembly and 32 co-sponsors in New York State Senate, and is widely supported, but it is still not passed. It is up to us as Caribbean people to make these things happen. Let us assert ourselves. Let us not settle for less. Finally, in 1783 at this very site, Americans removed the British flag and hoisted the American flag. Today, we will hoist both the American flag and the flag of Caricom, representing our various countries. There is sovereignty and freedom captured in the raising of the Caricom flag today. And I say to my Caribbean people who call America home, let us always, mindful of our history, guard our hard-won rights, continue to exhibit the best attributes of our diverse cultures, and be ambassadors for all that is relevant to us here and in the Caribbean, whether climate change or gun trafficking. As representatives of our countries and as people residing in America, we must, in understanding this history, guard that it is not repeated. We must not now, having progressed thus far, exchange one set of masters for the other, whether political or public institutions. We must see ourselves and be determined to be equal partners who have more than earned our right to be here, and not assume subservient roles in discourse or partnerships. Together, Mayor Adams and his office, Caribbean government representatives, the many organizations devoted to protecting, integrating, and advancing Caribbean people, and all our citizens. Together we can continue to weave the beautiful tapestry of Caribbean American people that contributes to making New York, New York. It would not be the same without us. To my diverse, beautiful, uniquely cultural Caribbean people, I say in the spirit of Caricom, keep on achieving in unity, guarding and raising the image of the region and demonstrating excellence in everything we do. Let everyone know we come from the best area in the whole world. Let everyone know that once we get an opportunity, we rise to the top. Thank you.
Thank you, C.G. Holder. And I'd just like to pause to recognize the presence of the Mayor of New York City. Mayor, welcome. All right. As Caribbean people, we cannot proceed without prayer. So I'm going to invite Pastor Louis Strater from Reflections Church to do a quick invocation for us.
Let us pray. Great God, our Father, It is with great awe and reverence we call upon your name today, asking your divine presence to tabernacle with us in this place. We declare Bowling Green Park as holy ground, acknowledging that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and that your word says where 2 or 3 come in your name, you promise to be in the midst. We have exceeded that number this afternoon, and we welcome your presence. We assemble here today in this great city of New York to honor Caricom, the Caricom community, by raising its flags to the heavens. It is raised with the acknowledgement that it only exists by the power of your grace. We ask blessings upon its member states. Bless the leadership, O God. Grant them wisdom, guidance, and greatness of vision, that they would continue to do what is just and equitable for the 16 million people under its jurisdiction. Just as we are reminded in the symbolic design of its flag, let your sun shine beautifully on these nations as a sign of your divine favor. Keep them free from natural disasters and economic woes. And as the seas that interlock, as they are symbolically interlocked, keep them forever, God, in unity and togetherness, with one heart, one soul, and one mind. Bless this ceremony. We are grateful to this great city of New York, under the leadership of your manservant, the Honorable Mayor Eric Adams. We pray blessings upon him and this city today. And we ask, God, that you would bless and show your power and your divine glory in this place. We ask these mercies with respect to every faith tradition present. I ask this in the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And everyone that believes said amen and amen.
Thank you, Pastor Straker. All right. So before we proceed and to hear some comments from the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, I'd like to invite to the podium Ms. Lamona Warrell, who is going to say a few words, and then we proceed. Ms. Warrell.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. I just want to say welcome, everyone. I'm not going to say much because my boss is here, Mayor Adams, so I'm going to leave it to him to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we have in our presence this afternoon the Minister of Tourism from the Cayman Islands, and he's also the chair of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. I'd like to now invite to the podium the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, who will deliver remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. With protocol already having been observed, I would like to recognize the Honorable Mayor of New York City, Mr. Eric Adams, ministers, commissioners, and members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is indeed my honor and my privilege to deliver these remarks in my capacity as the chairman of the Caribbean Organization. As a Caribbean national myself, I'm proud to participate in the raising of the Caricom flag, commemorating 50 years of the most notable community of Caribbean states. The Caricom flag is a visual representation of an integration and an integrated movement that symbolizes so many things. It characterizes the unity and the strength that exists across the Caribbean region. It's an emblem of partnership and cooperation, achievement and resilience. And like the Caribbean Tourism Organization, Caricom is an association of members states dedicated to facilitating the growth and the economic development of the Caribbean diaspora. Today, through these celebrations, I'm honored to pay tribute to Caricom's sterling accomplishments as a model of regional integration. I am pleased to recognize the great strides that have been made throughout collaboration and cooperation in areas that continue to impact millions of lives, such as education, healthcare, agriculture, security, and disaster management. I'm proud to acknowledge the foresight and the tenacity of the Caribbean leaders that led to the creation of notable regional institutions such as the Caribbean Development Bank. Also the Caribbean Public Health Agency, better known as CARPHA, upon which our region relied so heavily during the height of the COVID pandemic. And the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, better known as CDEMA, who remain ready to spring into action at any moment's notice when disaster strikes. This community of Caribbean states represents the unwavering spirit of the Caribbean people. It is therefore fitting that this historic occasion is being held in conjunction with the observance of Caribbean American Heritage Month, which recognizes the contributions and the achievements of our brothers and sisters of Caribbean origins, who call the United States of America home. For hundreds of years, Caribbean nationals have traveled to America in pursuit of the American dream. Our presence here today is helping to shine a spotlight on the positive influence that the Caribbean culture has had on the American society and vice versa, and the contributions that have been made within government, businesses, journalism, music, sports, the arts, and many, many other fields and professions. As we reflect on the countless ways that the Caribbean Americans have and will continue to contribute to the ways of life of this great nation called America, let us always be mindful that the ties between the United States and the Caribbean is underpinned by a spirit of friendship, and that the recognition that we each share a stake in each other's success. And let us not forget that the Caribbean region has been a favorite vacation spot and a home away from home for many Americans seeking to enjoy the beautiful beaches and crystal clear waters of places like the Cayman Islands. Across the Caribbean region, our doors are always open, and we look forward to welcoming you for years to come. In closing, I congratulate Caricom on its 50th anniversary and thank Mayor Adam for hosting this historic occasion here in New York City. To my brothers and sisters from the Caribbean, I wish you all a very memorable Caribbean American Heritage Month. And remember to be proud of your heritage. Share your stories, and let us continue to build a deeper and a stronger relationship with this great nation called America. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Bryan. And it's a good thing that the Caribbean Sea is not only limited to the Cayman Islands, you know. So we can get the crystal waters in Jamaica. And then I know Barbados is going to say the same thing. And so it's a good thing we are all one Caribbean people. All right, so before I proceed, I'd like to recognize the presence of Assemblyman Greg Cunningham, proud Jamaican. Yeah. All right, and I would like to now invite Ms. Camille Joseph Barlack, the Chief of Staff to the Mayor, to the podium. But before she comes, I'd just like to ask, Minister, I'm going to ask you to stand again, but to join us here, and also Minister Prasad, if you could join us up here, and CG Holder, if you could join us here. So now turn over to Ms. Barlack.
Yes. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here today. My name is Camille Joseph Barlack, and I am Chief of Staff to the Mayor. This moment is particularly meaningful because it underscores the collaboration between the United States, New York City, and the Caricom member and associate member states. I'm proud today to be representing the great people of Trinidad and Tobago at today's flag raising, celebrating Caribbean heritage. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, the granddaughter of a Baptist minister and a midwife. Like many immigrants, my mother and I immigrated to the United States so that she could pursue her dreams and give her children opportunities. Her tireless work ethic shows the characteristics of the people that make up our communities. I know there are many different countries and islands across the Caribbean represented here today, but despite all of our differences, there are two things that everybody knows is true about the Caribbean. One, clearly we have the best food. Whether it's curry, fry, or jerk, everyone knows the Caribbean knows how to cook. Second, Caribbean people know the value of hard work. Our work ethic is a defining part of our character, driving us to do good by doing good. I am proud that at the top of this administration, we have Caribbean representation, including Chief Advisor Ingrid Lewis-Martin and First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright. It is why millions and millions of immigrants have come to our nation and specifically to New York City in search of a better life and turn their dreams into a reality. I am proud to work in an administration as an immigrant, and I want the people here to know that you will always have a voice and representation in this administration. Now, I am pleased to introduce a leader who, while not a king, has been a friend and ally to our community, the 110th Mayor of New York City, Mayor Eric Adams. I am pleased to introduce a leader who, while not a king, has been a friend and ally to our community, the 110th Mayor of New York City, Mayor Eric Adams.
Thank you so much, Camille. One of the most challenging and difficult days of my life is after growing up in Jamaica, Queens. I was told it did not make me a Jamaican. I think both Camille and the speakers really personify the real spirit of the Caribbean experience here in not only New York, but in America. When you look at the presence, we know that New York City currently has the largest population of our Caribbean communities across the board. And when you examine not only my administration with, like my first, the first woman of color to be a first deputy mayor, second woman of color, Trinidadian background, to be the chief of staff. The first was under David Jenkins, the first chief advisor of Panamanian ancestry. When you look at the reflection of that, even my deputy mayor of Human Services, Deputy Mayor Williams Isom from Trinidad as well. When you do an examination of the heads of my agencies, you see the Caribbean experience. And it's not because we're trying to check the box. It's because we clearly identify a unique characteristics that I believe personifies the Caribbean experience, as the Deputy Mayor stated, as the Chief of Staff stated, working hard, willing to go beyond the call. If it means having a full-time job and then going to school at night. If it means leaving family members at home to buy property so you can continue to invest in that property. If it means understanding that you want to start in one level of maybe washing the dishes that eventually own a chain of restaurants. If it means just exploring the true understanding of what it means to be part of the American dream, you don't have to abandon your ancestry of your homeland as you adopt your homeland here called America. You personify that every day. But more than that, what I really admire about my Caribbean diaspora is your belief in faith. You believe in God. You believe in the power of prayer. You believe that we don't overcome anything if we don't have our lives rooted in faith. And that is something that is shown throughout the Caribbean diaspora. And so we're seeing for the first time a mayor is raising the flag of Caricom here in Bowling Green. It is a signal. What we must do is not only substantive, like who we have in government, but the symbolic motions also says a lot. By raising the flag here today, we are saying we see you. We acknowledge your presence. We acknowledge your contribution to the city and your country. We acknowledge all that you have offered, not only during COVID, but many people were able to social distance and to remotely work. We know you and the nurses associations and nurses who are all over this country came from Caribbean diaspora countries and different countries, placed their lives on the line to make sure other New Yorkers were able to survive the devastation of COVID. We also know your presence in classroom as you deal with the educational opportunities of our children. We know the men and women who wear bulletproof vests and protect the children and families of our city and our law enforcement community. ACS, Department of Sanitation. You show me the agency and I'll show you the presence of the Caribbean community. You are the backbone of this city. You respect and love this city. You believe in families, small businesses, and you believe in public safety and justice. Those combined efforts are why we're here today to raise the flag. 50 years later, 1973, we were living in a different city, in a different country. You were sure to be part of the evolution of this city and this country. New York City is not coming back. New York City is back because we have a rich cultural mixture of people from across the globe that finds this city as a place to raise healthy children and families. I'm happy to be the 110th mayor, but also happy to be the second African-American mayor, because in our veins and in our DNA are those who came from the continent of Africa. We left maybe in slavery, but we returned with the mayoralty. All of us have rose up to the occasion of our African ancestry and spirit. And as the council generals, the ministers, the heads of our hospitals, the doctors, all of us are true testaments of how we are resilient and how when we come together in a unified way, we can accomplish whatever we want. So all the naysayers that don't realize how powerful we are at this moment, this administration is saying to you, we are you and you are us. And this flag raising today is our symbol that is matching the substance that we are doing. I'm proud to be here, Caricom. Thank you for what you have done, will do, and continue to do. So we want to give this proclamation here at today's ceremony in Manhattan's historic Bowling Green Park. Caribbean New Yorkers will commemorate Caricom's golden anniversary by raising this distinct flag, which features the colors yellow, green, and blue to represent the sun, vegetation, and the Caribbean Sea, as well as two interlocking seas in the form of broken links in a chain signifying unity, as well as the region's break from its colonial past. I applaud the Caricom Consular Corps in New York for its efforts to strengthen the enduring bonds between the Caribbean in our global city and uplift members of the Caribbean diaspora in the 5 boroughs. I look forward to the many ways our vital Caribbean community will continue to make a positive difference as we take bold steps to get stuff done and forge a brighter, more inclusive and prosperous future for all. And we're going to do that through our Caribbean Advisory Board that is being run by the amazing Lamona Knight and all that she's doing. We will make sure that she does not just focus on Barbados. You know, we know how you the Caribbean diaspora feels, but your voice means a lot. Congratulations to an amazing group of New Yorkers and Americans. Thank you.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? From many distant lands our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound chains, through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain. By twist of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on light and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel my heart beat as one. Celebrating song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound of victory drum, for Caricom. The great and diverse speed, our ethnicities, the bonds that unite us, stronger than these. We die, we pray, we love, we dance and we play, we relate to each other, the Western today as a people united, so turning the step as we stand, look to a brand new horizon, the future not only in our hands. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel the hearts beat as one. Celebrating song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound of victory drum, for Caricom. Let me see you put your hands together like, hey, 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 Caricom. That's when you sing Caricom. Hey, 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 Caricom. Now when you do Caricom. Tapu, tapu, tapu. That's when you sing Caricom. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong. Sorry about that. Celebrating song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound of victory drum, oh Caricom, hey, hey, oh, oh, you sing Caricom, la, 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 hey, 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 tapu, tapu, oh, like you do,
Let me get peace. And we shake hands.
All I want is a little gravy. I don't want
This